Hi there, it is Jen with J Vinco. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon. Guten Morgen, as my 8-year-old, 7-year-old likes to say. He'll be 8 this weekend. Um, I am just going to share with you today my journal from last year, do a little flip through, talk through some of this craziness, and thank you so much for joining me. If you have been watching my videos and subscribed or liking my videos, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And let's just get started here. So I did a video showing how I covered this journal a little while ago, so that is in my videos if you care to see that. It's a little crazy looking, it's got all kinds of different stuff, but I really enjoy the process of collage and trying to find how things fit together, and obviously it's personal to me. Probably, I don't know, maybe somebody else would look at this and think like, oh, that looks crazy. I don't know why those things would go together, but it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but me, really. So that's the beauty of my journal. And look, there I felt like this little girl's kind of like maybe that's a younger version of me looking at the donuts. So anyway, that is what the outside looks like, and I never did a flip through on this one, so just wanted to share that with you. So I started this journal in March of last year and didn't quite finish some of the year. There's a big chunk in the middle of the year, or from March till sometime in the summer, where I did daily journal every single day, but then it started to kind of drop off and I would miss days, and so I had to, I have a few spots where I still need to fill in, or who knows if I'll go back and fill them in, but I do have notes. I do take notes on a lot of days so that I can go back and journal about them if I want to. So I just keep those in a separate steno notebook. This is just wrapping paper that I liked. I don't know why. I guess I like the little kawaii figures, smiley cookies. Why not? And here's a little Valentine that my 7-year-old made for me. His name is Drake, and he's very cute, so wanted to put that in the front. These first couple pages, I always feel like I need to leave space in the front, like start after the first page. I don't know why, just to decorate, I guess. And then I still have some spots to fill in if I want to. This is Printable here from Emmy Lou. She does YouTube videos on journaling. She actually kind of got me started on doing daily journaling, so I highly recommend her videos. They're funny and inspiring, so those are good to watch if you're looking for someone else to watch. So here, when I started this journal, it was March of last year. We were looking at maybe trying to get more space. We were all doing school and doing work from home, and it was making us realize how small our house just like shrunk just right away as soon as all of us were here all the time. And so yeah, these first couple pages are just about what's going on, that they're doing school at home. I like these. This is just a piece of collage I cut out of a magazine. Same with this, and then some stickers. This is all magazine. This felt like a big find, and it felt like it fit really well what I was talking about, looking for a bigger house. But when we realized how crazy the market was and that we didn't have just an extra $100,000 lying around to add to our offer, we kind of priced ourselves out of doing anything about it at that point. So the good thing is we had to think outside the box and kind of try to find a way to make more space with the house we currently have, and I think we did an okay job with that. We had an extra bedroom, so instead of having a guest room when we don't have any guests, we put all that stuff in storage and then used it as my office, and here we are. So so this first one looks like March 6th. I did a little doodling about cleaning up, getting stuff for giveaway, throwing stuff away, trying to go through the house and get rid of some clutter. We are clutter fiends in this house. And for some reason I put a little picture of some fabric that I bought. Who knows? That's pretty weird. I guess what's interesting about, oh no, this is This is not 2020, this is 2021. I'm confused. So here, this is just a list of stuff that I wanted to get done. I do tend to mention what we ate that day fairly often. So I guess when you're journaling every day, you know, that was one of my consistent things that I usually said something about what we did, what we ate. So Drake drew me this little Minecraft picture on a note card, so I stuck that in there. I like how visual this journal is. I mean, I guess my current journal is pretty visual too, but I feel like there's a lot more writing in my journal for this year. Maybe not. I feel like I tried more with fonts and just different ideas, like putting shapes down a page to kind of break up the page and put different information in each one. I cut out a lot of telephones and look for cars a lot, because if I have a phone call with someone or drive somewhere specific, then I usually put that in there. And I will use one of those items to talk about that. I really like this in the corner, this bear who like doesn't want to get up, this "don't talk to me" coffee mug. That really just kind of tells the story about how interested I am in getting up in the morning. I am not necessarily a morning person, I guess. I've turned into more of one just because I can't sleep past a certain time most of the time anymore. Just really dumb, but that's the way it goes. I do tend to cut out pet pictures too, because we have our 2 cats and our ferret. Yeah, and I often will talk about like what's going on in school, or how school went that day for the kids. This was just a regular truck in a piece of collage, and then I found a Home Depot ad and cut out the logo and then put it on the truck, so it looks like a little Home Depot truck, because that's what we we rented that day to go to move some stuff to storage, because we don't have a vehicle that we can move mattresses in or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. Oh gosh, I don't know, these are interesting. And had, oh, I guess this has a tip in here. Here's another tip in. Sometimes I try to make the page themed. Oh, what I really like about this, what I did last year, was put washi tape on almost all the edges. I don't know, I just like how that looks. And I have not been doing that this year. Only on a couple days. So I kind of want to get back to doing that. I like it. So yeah, I kind of theme pages sometimes for no real reason. I don't know why this has a shark on it and ocean and whales and stuff like that. Yeah, I wrote about that. Having a sea theme on this page doesn't really make sense. I just like it. And then there's this picture with Drake, and he's doing school and the cat's sitting next to him. I think he's even reading to her. It's pretty funny. She just comes and sits next to him while he's doing school. She's kind of weird. Let's see. Blizzard, I like this. So, I mean, I don't like what happened here. Tim got into a little fender bender because of the snow. I guess, like, in a parking lot, somebody just wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, but so I just put 2 car stickers like running into each other, and then kind of like a comic like smash you know, doodle behind it. So I don't know, I like when I do these doodles sometimes. I've got this stick figure going up, carrying boxes up the stairs, talking about moving stuff, and then a picture of the snow from outside the house. Like we have a camera outside. So I used a couple stamps to definitely have stickers and more washi tape and stuff all over it. I'm really hit or miss with how I do the dates, whether I end up liking it or not. This one's okay. It's interesting looking. Don't really like that one per se. But I mean, when you're consistently doing a daily page, then you tend to just get something down. So sometimes I liked it, sometimes I didn't like what I put on there. I like sometimes using these big pieces of collage so that it takes up most page. Then if I wanted to, I could write this, write a little piece of story on the chick here or in the background of it, but I didn't really have a ton to say about that day, so that worked fine. Let's see. So this is a tip in. I put just a page, I don't know, scrapbook paper with clouds on it, and then pictures of the kids in the front yard. We got like a few feet of snow, and so it was easy for us to pile it up and make a tunnel that day, so they were having fun with that. We brought the ferret out to play in the snow for a few minutes, but you have to be careful because you don't want him just to run off. You'll never find him again. He'll just, I don't know, he's not an outside pet, so he could get lost pretty easily, but we just kept him inside the little tunnel area, and he was digging in the snow. But he got so excited he pooped in the first couple minutes, so we had to, dig that out and then clean it, take him inside. So, but anyway, he thought it was pretty fun, and he was helping them dig for just a couple minutes. On the other side of this, Drake was making his own SpongeBob Monopoly game. He used clay to make the little guys, and he made property cards and the game board and everything, so that was really cool. And I wanted to get that documented. Let's see what else here. I'm just talking about the snow and what we ate. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see here, talking a little bit about organizing stuff, because this is around when I moved all my stuff up to my new office, and just a random picture of the cat in there. So, your collage stickers and little pattern stickers are a good thing to take up space if you don't feel like you have a lot to say. But once I get writing, I'm always like, oh gosh, I had a lot more to say. I wish I'd left some more space. So it's kind of daunting to look at that blank page, but it's good to break it up and write smaller blurbs here and there, and then if you find that you had a lot to say and you already took up the whole page, then you can obviously just tip in a little extra thing to write on. So here I kind of stuck with a green theme. I drew all the Lucky Charms shapes, leprechauns. Sometimes I have all these interesting stickers. So like this little guy holding something above his head is a washi sticker. I have this whole set of really strange washi stickers, but if I need a sticker for something strange, or it's good to find a representation of something in these really random stickers. These are not cut, so you just have to cut it out. But they have a paper backing, so I usually just cut out whatever it is and cut around it and then put it in there. Which I guess I was kind of annoyed when I first got the stickers that they weren't cut already, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me to cut them out, so it wasn't that big a deal. There's a lot of odd modeling type people in these stickers, but that's okay. This one, I feel like there's gonna be some weird something that's gonna make sense for, but I just don't know what yet. It's gonna happen. So I have a bunch of those. I have a lot of stickers, let's be honest. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Kind of used pastel stripe color theme here, and talked about going to Michael's. So I saw, for some reason, I looked at the Michael's website that day and saw that they had a sale and they had some new stickers. And the books were like $6 each instead of $10, I think. So Tim, my significant other, was working. I think he was on the phone. And so I wrote on a piece of paper with a Sharpie marker, and I just said, want to go to Michael's at 4:30? I went down and held it up, and he nodded yes. So I felt like a big winner that day. We got to go to Michael's and get some more stickers, which of course I need. I have too many stickers, so that's true. So I've showed you before my like people box, because I just cut out people doing different things, people showing different emotions, just because I end up liking to use that as a representation on my page. So when I see people in pain, I usually cut those out, because the older you get, I feel like the more opportunities you get to be in pain, and so it fits a lot more often than it used to, maybe. So anyway, this woman is obviously in pain, and I wrote, "I'm dying," because whenever I'm in pain, I always say that to somebody. But I had a headache all night that night while I was sleeping, and so anytime I woke up, I was like, oh, I still have my headache. It's not going away. So I didn't sleep well. And then this coffee mug is one of our Javinko mugs. It's one of our drawings on our website and on the t-shirts and stuff like that. My son Vincent, he drew this, and it just feels like a good representation of what Monday morning feels like, or any morning that you didn't sleep well. I feel like that coffee mug says it all. He's feeling a little rough, is what it looks like to me. So, and I talked about making soup. I've really gotten into making soup the last couple years, and have tried making most of the soups from Olive Garden, actually, and they've all turned out pretty good. So I would recommend, if you find a copycat recipe for an Olive Garden soup online, they end up working pretty well. This day I'm just talking about how Tim got a wild hair and decided to start running in the morning. And so he was going for a run. And this is, I don't know who that is. Cary Grant, or I don't know who that is. Shame on me, but he's running, and I just thought that was a good representation of it. I talk about how I journal in my journal. I got to journal today, which just seems like a funny thing to do. Well, it's a funny thing to put in my journal. Obviously, I got to journal, or this page wouldn't be done. So, I like this page with the color scheme and with the like border bits. This is just snowflakes from a magazine cut out, but this is washi tape back here. Got this snowman stamp, so that I just like the way that looks. I guess it must have been cold that day. Yeah, it snowed again, 5 to 8 inches by 10 p.m. Ugh. Sometimes it just keeps snowing. And then, let's see, I talked about getting groceries and breakfast, talked about calling my mom. This one, this is kind of funny. So I was complaining about the neighbor because he just seems like he does some inconsiderate things with his trash, like he's having a feud with the trash collectors, and he just had like a big box of dog poop just like out in the open there, sitting on top of his trash can, and I don't know, that didn't seem like the best way to present that. And so anyway, he's not my favorite neighbor for sure. So I just wanted, I think this is Penny from Big Bang Theory, and I don't know who this is, but and he probably has blood on his face. He's holding a knife, but his face could look dirty too, which is what I was going for. So and he looks a little crazy, which I think maybe that neighbor's a little nutty. So yeah, this is my representation of the neighbor. So I've got my gross, nope, whatever, my frowny faces. I wasn't very happy about it. And then I've got a card just showing that I picked up Vincent. So I put my separation here because this is like grumpy stuff up here, and this is like good stuff. I picked up my son, and we had a good conversation, and then we had some grilled cheese and soup for lunch. So I found a big piece of collage for that randomly. Here, I didn't write a whole lot on this page. You see I have sticky notes everywhere, and if you don't know what those are for, they're just covering up stuff I don't necessarily need to share with the public that I wrote. Because it's a journal. It's my private journal, you guys. Don't look. Okay, no, I covered it up. It's fine. So anyway, Drake is riding his bike, and there's snow still on the ground, obviously, and he's wearing his coat here, but he had his little bucket on the front, and he kept taking samples of snow from each yard when he'd pass by it, like a little geologist getting samples for testing or something. I just thought it was funny. Kids are funny. I used to pretend I was dropping off mail for people, even though I didn't have anything. I'd just ride to each person's house and pretend like I was leaving them mail. That's weird. Okay. This, let's see. I was scheduling COVID vaccines, and so my oldest son goes back and forth between our house and his dad's house, and my younger son thinks that he's a rock star. He loves my older son, and so he was really sad that he was leaving that day. It was really sad. I felt so bad for him. Sometimes he just has trouble with the transitions, you know. And I put this big bag of money because I was talking about stimulus payments, I guess. Here I drew my big breakfast for dinner. That's when we're lazy, when we make breakfast for dinner. We're just like can't be bothered to make something more complex. This I liked. I've had this collage picture of a computer and drew like just like a table, but I mean it's just supposed to be my desk, but I made it tall. And this person's standing here looking up because I finally got a sit-stand desk, and so I got to stand that day for a while I was doing my work, and I thought that was pretty fun. So I talked about work some, you know, here and there, and if you've seen any previous videos, you know that I quit my job, had my whole like crisis of time to change careers, and I'm going back to grad school in next month, so that's exciting, and it was exciting to leave, but I'd been in that career for 13 years and it wasn't the right fit for me, but I just kind of, you know, you kind of stick with something sometimes, and so I don't know, sometimes I'm not real happy like reading through stuff about work. It makes me feel kind of, I don't know, but it's good that I have it in here because it's part of my journey. Whether it was a good fit or not, it's still, you know, documentation of what happened. So it's good to have it in there, even if it's not the most fun thing to look back at, I guess. Let's see, I'm talking about, Tim got his first COVID vaccine shot that day, and for some reason I put this just as a little throwback thing. Vincent, my 15-year-old, when he was younger, he used to say, like for giving 5, up high, down low, up in space, slap you in the face. So I thought that was really funny. My kids have some really funny quotes, and one day maybe they'll be enough for a book. Maybe. So I like this too. I drew an air purifier. We got one set up, and we have pets, all these pets that I'm allergic to. And so finally, I don't know what made me think of it, but I finally got smart and figured out that an air purifier would help, and it totally did. My allergies are a lot better because we have that, so it's good. All the cats and the ferret, they're a mess. I don't know why I put this peach in here, but it looks like a butt, and then I wrote that it looks like a butt in there, which is really good. It tells us some important stuff. I like this stamp of a tissue box. It's a stamp set I have that's like a get well soon. Here it is. So it's got like a Band-Aid and a bowl of soup and stuff. It's pretty cool. So I think because, I wasn't feeling well that day, so obviously there's this person's head on fire, so that's a good indicator that I wasn't feeling that well that day. Yeah, just random, but again with like a sort of color scheme. It's pretty cool. And yeah, you can tell too when I just don't have a lot to say, I'm using like big things that take up big pieces of the page. But it makes it more interesting to look at, obviously. Let's see. I've got a couple pictures of the ferret. So I've shown this before, but I have this Canon Ivy mini photo printer, and so I just print photos. So they're like full size, they're like a 2" by 3" picture, but for the Canon, if you use their app, which you have to do to print the pictures, you can pick collage, and then you can put more pictures on one little piece of photo paper. So that's what I do. Looks like this is the day I went and got my first shot. And I talked about like getting a treat. Like my mom always used to let me get a treat if I had to go through something like the dentist or getting a shot or something. So I still carry that tradition on. Even for myself, I'm like, Jen, did you have a tough time this morning? Let's go get you a treat. So isn't that strange? Drake, when I got home, he asked me if I screamed when they gave me the shot. And I was like, no, you can't really get away with screaming anymore at the doctor's office as an adult. So I did not scream. I just sat there and handled it like a grown-up. Let's see. This day was exciting. We got a new washing machine. Our washing machine had been leaking and just like not working right. And instead of trying to figure out how to get it fixed, we got a new one. I mean, I don't know how fixable it really was. Tim probably looked into that, and that's not I'm not the technology person here, so he probably looked into it. And anyway, it was a big deal. That was a new family member right there, and I still love it. I am old school. It's a top load, and you know, this might be controversial. People like their front loads, I guess, but I hate a front load washing machine. Like, I need a bench in front of it so I can lie down and shove the laundry in or something like that. I don't know how it's supposed to be like feasible. Even with the risers, it's still at a level where you kind of have to crouch or bend in front of it, and I don't like that. So this one, you can just dump your laundry right in the top, shut the lid, hold on. It's amazing. So, and that it doesn't seems like it has less flood catastrophe capabilities. So I don't know, it's working out well for us. I'm happy to report. This was around Easter here. We have some crazy folks in our neighborhood who some holidays, usually just Halloween, but I guess Easter, those are the only ones we've seen, but it's just some neighbors who they make a little float on their trailer, and they have their pickup and they pull it around and just like throw candy to the neighbors or whatever. So they were driving around with the Easter bunny there on their trailer. You can see that. So the weird thing is, like, they don't advertise or anything like that. So Drake and I and Tim just happened to be outside, and Tim ran inside for 2 minutes, and they came by and threw candy at us and waved and stuff and drove off. And he came back outside, and we were like, "Ah, you just missed it. The float came by with a rabbit." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He thought we were crazy, but it was pretty fun. It was like a little, like the smallest mini parade with one float going by. So it was pretty fun. Here I just drew my, it's really random when I decide to draw something in there, but I drew this face for urgent care because my stomach acid was just like really like burning a hole, and it felt like it, and so they gave me some, I just wanted to check and make sure it wasn't something else, and they were like, just take some Zantac or whatever. So I really like this piece of collage with the little gumball machine. I don't know why gumball. My mom had a gumball machine like this when I was little. It was on her dresser, I think. And so if I had a penny and if she let me, then I could go get a gumball from her off of her dresser. And I don't know, made me happy. That's what we had when I was little, was just the little gumball machine or the little red machines where you could get the egg thing out of it. And we didn't have video games really when I was really little, but my kids are like, gumball machine, cool, gum, great, you know. Actually, they're not really like that. They're both pretty, I don't know, they're interested in it. This was weird. I picked Vincent up from school maybe and was driving home, and there was a fire in the distance, so I got a picture of it. And then I had ordered a couple of romance novels, we'll say, and they showed up at the house, and Tim opened the package and found them, and I think he thought the package was for him, but he opened it and he was like, oh, what are these? And so then he sent me a picture of him and Drake reading the books. I was like, okay, yeah, you guys are reading a couple romance novels this afternoon. That's great. Here this day, I picked up coffee, and maybe I've told you guys before, but my coffee is everything but the coffee. So I like, they have like a steamed milk with, you can get vanilla in it. It just tastes like a liquid marshmallow kind of. It's pretty good. So that's what I get from Starbucks. I don't drink coffee. Anyway, I wrote about that on this little coffee mug tip in, and then I tipped this in as well. My son, I was in a meeting on the phone, and so he snuck into my office and slid me this note asking if I could take him to the middle school to volunteer, to get some volunteer time. And he had a checkbox thing, but as is usual with the teenagers, he gave me like no notice. He's like, can we be there in 10 minutes? I was like, it takes longer than that to drive there. Like, you want to leave right this second? But anyway, we need to be flexible, people, okay? So we went. We were helping with the track meet, and it was windy. It was really windy out there that day. I don't know why the Geico, just because I was talking about getting the car fixed from that little fender bender. Here, gosh, I need to see how long this video, oh, I'm taking a long time. Let's make more time here, people. Okay, so here, just, I don't know, talking about the kids in school and the Switch. Oh, that they were playing Mario Party on the Switch. I really like this Ronald McDonald sticker for some reason. I don't know. I guess I talked about COVID numbers going up. I drew a little Chipotle burrito there, and talked about this demonic looking toy that Drake got from his Happy Meal. Easter, this is a good one. We dyed Easter eggs. This about not doing good parenting, I wrote about how I showed the kids like part of a PBS about kids in poverty, and Drake was just so upset and like having anxiety about the kids who don't have enough to eat and stuff like that when he was trying to go to bed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible parent. He's so upset, but I don't know. I want them to know what reality is like, but maybe it was a little early for him to learn about reality. I don't know. But he still made me an Easter card even after all of that. So, and a little Easter letter. So I tipped those in and put some Easter stuff on there. Talk about cleaning Gub's cage. So here's funny. I wrote about April 12th, and then I started writing about April 14th, and I forgot about April 13th, like a dummy. I just started writing about the wrong day. So then I was like, I'll just tip it in on a little tag. So this tag is for April 13th, and I just wrote about what the main stuff was. And then I wrote about getting hamburgers, looks like. So I started using a bunch of vinyl stickers. I have a whole basket full of vinyl stickers here. And got Drake was doing some online drawing classes just to do something fun, so I did that. I wrote about sometimes they'll have a slumber party where they stay up until maybe like 10 or 10:30, and they watch a movie, play a game. He gets, Drake gets to stay up later than he normally would, so he gets excited about that. This is not my favorite page. I was having like serious issues trying to figure out how to put this page together for some reason when I was doing it, so I just kept like putting stuff places. I don't know. Like this seems more cohesive the way it's set up, and this one just like just putting random stuff places. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, more vinyl stickers. I really like this washi tape on the top. It's like little park, like little trees and stuff. Looks pretty cool. These pages I didn't like. I guess I didn't like, or this flashback page. I didn't end up liking really any of these. I guess I used some items that really aren't my favorite. This banana washi, this banana sticker, these kind of letters. I don't know, I just didn't really like the way they looked. So I wasn't super happy with the pages, but then we move on, because I don't know, you're gonna have some ugly pages, especially if you're journaling daily. This one looks like I got my second shot. And then talking about pets, this dog tried to get at Drake when we were out for a walk, and so I was like blocking him. And the neighbors were like, I was like, come get your dog, dude. This page I like. I really like this picture with the turtleneck over the face. That totally feels like most days. So I just wasn't feeling well that day because of my second shot. This is 2 different days, so I just split up the page. This is where the beginning of the end started here, so really it's only the end of April here, so I really only did like 2 months of daily journaling, a little bit less before I started like skipping days or putting 2 days on one page. Yeah, because here we're already at May 5th, so I definitely skipped some pages. Here I'm holding Drakey's hand. I took a picture of it. Isn't that funny? Pretty soon he'll be like, get away from me. Don't sit next to me. Don't talk to me. So I have to hold his hand while he'll let me. Here we planned a trip to the mountains. So I was talking about that. This one I love because I'm talking about getting this eyebrow thing because my eyebrows are like half existent now. They're like so light colored and splotchy that you can't even tell, anyway. So I got this to have an unbelievable brow. And so I start and there's barely anything there. Then I get going and do one at a time. And then you add a little too much to this one, so you have to go back to this one. And then at the end you look like Groucho Marx. So that is my struggle every day with the eyebrow, with filling in the eyebrows. I talked about how we got our backyard redone, like resawed. And it looked nice for a little while. We didn't cover this up fast enough, and so weeds sprung up all over, and that was our mistake. So that's what we have to deal with now, all the weeds. This I like with the circles. I just wrote something different about that day in each one. Little highlights of what we did. And I found this little doodle of an orca because I watched a blackfish. And so I found the doodle of the orca and put that next to it. It's a little visual. These are little cards I found online that are like you can put them in your kid's lunch, like write them a little note. I thought those were cute. But my kids weren't going anywhere. I didn't pack their lunch. They were eating lunch here, so I didn't have an opportunity to use the cards yet, but I will this year, sure. We went to some garage sales, got some more clutter, which really not what we need. All right, but we did it anyway. This is my little spread about our trip to the mountains. We went up to the reservoir. You might notice there's a little like, why is that there? Because I wrote Breckenridge and spelled it wrong, and it took my time, wrote it in a nice font, I glued it in there, and then I realized I spelled it wrong, and I ripped it out, and I didn't remake it yet. Who knows if I ever will. These pictures on the boat, we went on a pontoon boat. It was super fun. The kids really liked it. And then this, so when I'm looking for a font like to fit whatever's going on, I just, in my phone, looked up like hiking font or mountain font, and there's a bunch of different visuals that'll come up, so I just drew this. I like this. It's supposed to be a hiker, but the way I drew it, it looks like a bird with a hunchback and a cane. So it does to me because the hat bill, the location of it looks like a beak. So it's pretty cool. When we were hiking, we saw like a shack, and we saw the bathtub had been dragged out, and it was full of dirty water and disease probably, but it was a fun find on the hike. Who finds a bathtub on a hike? Very strange. Local magazines too happen to have a lot of stuff about that area in the mountains that we went to, so this is a picture from a magazine, but it's actually like where we went, which I thought was super cool. Talk about 4th of July here. I don't know why I put this. Oh, this is a tip-in. This isn't a page. So I used scrapbook paper and then put this cake with the sparkler. And Drake gave me another little card, a little 4th of July card. And then I talked about the 4th. That delicious looking drink. And then I made a combination page for all the birthdays in July. So Mr. Wiggins, her birthday's in July, Drake's birthday's in July, and mine is 3 days after Drake's. And here I wrote I turned 39 on July 20th. Oof, yikes. That is true. So that means in a few days, it's the big 40 for me. It's all downhill for me. Someone told me the other day that, you know, the whole 40's the new 30 or whatever, and I was like, 40 feels like the new 80 to me. So all right, so here I left some pages, June and August highlights. So this is 2 months that I was going to put on those 2 pages. And then so I have notes on all of this time about the things I was going to put in. This is for Vincent going to homecoming. We had some real difficulty getting tickets, like we waited too long, and then they weren't available on the day of, but then they became available. Even though the school said that they're not going to be available on the day of, then they were. So luckily, he still got to go, but he was upset when we found out we couldn't buy tickets anymore. He was mad at me, mostly, because I let him down, but he didn't give up, and he still got to go, so I was happy about that. And he looked really nice, which you can't see because he doesn't want to be on camera. I respect that, so you'll just have to imagine how nice he looked. Here's his birthday stuff, the birthday stuff we did at home. Birthdays have been kind of a little bit sad since COVID started, but they're going to get better. I made him rainbow bars. He really likes those. They're really good, but they are not that easy to make. I have to tell you, they're wow, I tore a lot of pages out of here. This looks kind of rough. I should probably put some tape on there. Oh, this is about fall break. So I'd taken a couple days off of work to hang out with them for fall break, but I didn't feel like I could take the whole week because I just had so much work to do. And then when I was going back to work on Wednesday morning, that's when I decided to quit my job. So I did. And I didn't share with you any of the writing really here, but that's okay. You can still see, look at this lady. She is having the best day of her life, possibly like a little too far. Look at her face. This is from like a frozen dinner ad from like those Healthy Choice or something like that. I don't think anyone's gonna be that happy eating a Healthy Choice, but I was that happy quitting my job. So yeah, I just covered up all my writing, but I did have a lot to say in here. I did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages on quitting my job. I think that's about right. And then I felt like, gosh, everything's up in the air. Crazy. But that's good. I felt better. So I have notes for these. Didn't finish those. Got a little Thanksgiving here. The Thanksgiving you know, kind of a bland page. I don't know, I still like it. It says delicious food. This one has multiple days, so November 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And then talking about actual Thanksgiving, which works. This is the 30th and then December 2nd, so I'm just including more than one day. I was doing Christmas shopping. I went Christmas shopping after I dropped Vincent off at school this day on the 2nd, and felt like I entered a time warp. I felt like I had been at that store for like hours and hours. I just like disappeared down a rabbit hole. It was very strange, but I got a lot done for Christmas prep. I put a picture of the lights on the outside of the house and the Christmas tree. I talked about Rock Band. I guess we were playing Rock Band. This was funny. Vincent came out of school holding a champagne flute, and I was like, what is happening? But his math teacher at the end of the day gave them sparkling cider or whatever because they did a good job in their math class or whatever. So he just had the funniest look on his face holding his glass of champagne. It was pretty funny. And then I have these pencil stamps. Those are cool. And then I, had finished writing my grad school essay, entrance essay. Here I had something, grumpy family conflict to write, and so I put it on the back of this. I try to just like write about those things, but not in an obvious way. Sometimes, like right on my page. Talked about wrapping. As soon as the Christmas season starts, I want to start wrapping like immediately. I don't want these presents like that I've hidden places. I feel like I'm going to lose track of them. I want to get them wrapped and under that tree immediately. And so I'm like a nutcase about wrapping once we have started shopping. And I shop early, or I try to. The older I get, the earlier it gets. So, and I mean, if you've heard anything about the economy lately, I guess we should start Christmas shopping now for this year. I need to put that on my list. Wrote about my breakfast trend, which I'm still eating this trend off and on, where I make scrambled eggs, put them on top of the bagel with chive cream cheese, and then I have a side of sliced up tomatoes that are salted a little bit. It's pretty good. I like it. I found these holiday movies, this section in a magazine. I think it was in like an Entertainment Weekly magazine, and it happened to have specific movies that we were watching. We were kind of doing a Christmas movie marathon during December, and so I put a few of those in here on the days that we watched those movies, which I thought was pretty cool. It's really exciting when things like that work out. I did a video on these pages. I'm pretty sure I remember those videos. This is about how Tim and I both got our COVID booster and flu shots the same day. We each got both shots the same day. So that wasn't good planning because we left no room for both of us to feel like crap and to have anyone to take care of anything. So that was dumb. And we felt like lumps all day the next day. Felt like, ugh. My arm really hurt. My COVID arm hurt. I don't know. Shots hurt. It's just a fact, people. All right. Yeah, here's Frosty. So we watched Frosty that day. I guess we grilled that day. It must not have been too cold, or maybe it was, and we're just crazy. We grill out in the snow. Did some baking. I had really high hopes for baking. I was going to have like little disposable containers for everybody that I'd go drop off to them, all the friends and stuff, and they'd have numerous types of treats, but those rainbow bars take forever, and that was one of them. And then I was going to make chocolate chip cherry cookies and little chocolate clusters that are awesome, and then something else, sugar cookies that were frosted and decorated, and I think we were able to feasibly get 2 of those things done, and we didn't have time to deliver them that day. So, planning. Sometimes I plan things and they just don't work out the way I meant. But I had our little Christmas menu, what we were going to eat, and I like this wrapping paper, so I put that on the back. I was going to tip this in here, and I didn't do our leading up to the holiday pages, but I do have notes on them. So I know we went to the zoo down in Colorado Springs one of the days, and I know I've done this page on camera before. This was going down to pick up barbecue, and yeah, and then talked about Cobra Kai. I really like that show. It's an awesome show. If you are a fan of Karate Kid, you can tell fans made that show. It's so cool. And then we've got I just made a washi tape page with some goofy quotes on it, just for the heck of it. And then here's my Goodbye 2021 page, but I didn't finish it. This is how I felt I looked after 2021 went by. Like it was a real interesting year to get through, but I did. So anyway, hopefully at some point I'll take some time and fill some more of this in. There's a bunch of pages. These are going to stay blank, my guess. And I didn't do anything with the back inside cover, but I got all kinds of stuff here I can put all over it. I could just do it right now. Just put some different stuff. I might as well. It is really hard to make myself use stuff because I'm like, I gotta hold on to it, but just use it. It's going in a book that you're keeping. Just use it. That's it. That's last year's book, and I really like it. It's one of my favorite things. If there's a fire, I'm grabbing this on the way out for sure, and this one. And we're going. This and the pets and the children, and I guess Tim. He better get himself out. We all better just get out of here if there's a fire. That's the end of my video. Thank you so much for joining me for this really weird journey into last year's book, and I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want to see or any other stories you want me to share or expand on. But thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.